Greetings and a warm salutations. Got my brother Lowe with me today. What is new, brother Lowe? How you living?
Hey man, you know what I'm talking about. Get how live how I get it. You know what I'm talking about. You know what it is.
Already. Well, first and foremost, we would like to greet everybody in this space. So, how y'all living? How's everybody doing? We're going to go ahead and get started. I know if you can hear us, if you could just put a 1 in the chat so we know that we can be heard, that would be great. Can you hear us, Achi Chris? Just let us know. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started reading Sub-Zero. You already know. So, first and foremost, we like to give thanks. Thank you, Brother Chris. Give thanks to Chief, who has dedicated his time, energy, and effort to this. And, of course, the Most High, man. Goodness gracious. Peace, Sister Naya, Emma Precious. See y'all in here, Sovereign East. All right, so this book is not to be read only once. Why do you think this book is not to be read only once, Brother Lowe?
I think it's not supposed to be read only once just because of the fact that one for ego, because some people read it once and they just know it all. And then another reason is probably because of memory retention. I would say, if you read it only once, you really can't retain the knowledge inside of it. So therefore, you have to read it again to also sift through meaning behind words. And I also think that it's meant for constant study. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes, man, it's like I look at it like math. If you don't use it, you lose it. So if you can't just read through something once and be like, oh yeah, I got that, I'm moving on to the next thing. It's like, nah, I'm gonna come back to it. And then just like, with different passages and scriptures, things start opening themselves up to you, and you can start to see different things the next time that you go back into it as you start to acquire more knowledge. So I think that's why, at least for me, read the words of this book of knowledge and wisdom out loud. Discuss the convictions of this work with your new brothers and sisters. That's us right now. We here now. You know what I'm saying? We here now. Share this information with your people. This publication should be read daily. Every line in this book can be taken out of context and studied on the strength of its own potential. The truth is to be deliberated. All right, Akilo. Hey, Akilo, can you tell them how you got your name? Why do people call you Brother Lowe? Like, what did that
go? That's backstage. Why you go? Okay. Here we go. We supposed to be acting civilized. Here you go, making me act crude.
Come on, Lowe.
All right, so my name Lauren, but since I went down home, they call me Low. I ride 2 L's on me, so you can call me Too Low. You know what I'm talking about? I always, what I always is below, below sea level, because I'm always staying low to the ground. Know what I'm talking about? So it's always, I'm just too low for. See, we can't be doing this, Zach. I'm too low for you because you can't see low. So so how can you get low? You know what I'm talking about?
Come on, Low.
Okay, bro, you trying to get me in trouble?
Come on, Low.
It's always, it's everything, that stay low, and it's I'm shy in country, so you can call me Shiloh, and
come on, Low.
We gonna get in trouble. We gonna get in trouble. But
All right.
yeah,
All right. All right.
some people try to do me, but they can't do low. Ain't that right, Sister Madeira? You know. Now I'm talking about. So yeah.
I know what you're talking about, bruh. All right. Now that is out the way, now we can get into some reading, huh? All right, well, first of all, let me see who the folks that came in the chat. Sister Moonra, how you doing? A blessing, love, Ipaco, Bahamas. We got Softer G, greetings to you. Chief, one time for the one time. You know, there you go. Emma Arlene, greetings to you. Sister Deidre, greetings. And I will greet everybody else as they come through. All right. So what we got, Brother Lowe? Where we at?
Well,
I think what we talking about today is, in which we would like everybody to put in the chat, is, when do you think children should be introduced from a previous relationship? Again, when do you think children should be introduced from a previous relationship? I'm gonna ask you first, Brother Lowe, and I'll chime in on it, and then we'll go to the reading. That's how we gonna roll today.
I would say, you introduce children, or you introduce the idea or the fact that you may have children during the courting phase. I'll say it that, not as a surprise. You know, people like to surprise you. You know, nowadays people like to surprise you. Oh, I get kids. Like, huh? You know, I didn't sign up for that. So I would say, you know, you introduce them in enough time to where you give that person the choice to decide whether they, you know, want to stay or if they want to go. You know, if they say that's too rich for my blood, it's too rich for their blood. You know, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. See, here we go. So yeah, that's what I think. I think, you know, children are important, and then, you know, that's somebody's legacy and bloodline. So it's important to protect it and guard it, but not keep it a secret like it's a shame. You know, some people do that. So that's what I think.
So when you say it's important to know when to hold them and when to fold them, when should one fold them?
Well, if you ever play poker, okay. When to fold them is when to fold them is when you obviously see, or you obviously, through your observation and kind of this talks, that you don't see that this person has nothing to offer you, or you see that they're more of a liability than an asset, or you probably see the traits, negative traits or flaws that they already have in their own children, and you don't want that in your children. You know, I think that's ground for folding them. But you know, or you see how they rear and raise their own children, and you just like, yeah, I got a different plan in mind. You know, and that counteracts what I'm trying to build for myself. So that's what I think.
Do you think you can learn a lot about somebody by the way their children behave?
Oh yeah, I do. I really do. Because, you know, sometimes that's the little them. You know, that's the mini me. You know what I'm talking about? You can sort of tell the traits that they probably passed on, and you can look at their kids and then look at them and say, oh, so that's where what you would like. You know what I'm saying? That's that's what you passed on, or whatever. Not just physical traits, but the actual mental and social, I would say, traits, that you see sometimes kids have. So yeah.
Okay, so based on that, then I'm gonna ask you again. When do you think you should meet these children, knowing that you need to know about this person and these social traits and these aspects that they're passing down, that you possibly can pick up some of those passing down to your genes? When do you need to see
As early as possible. I ain't trying to move men or nothing, because that's what some of them expect. I ain't trying to move kids in, but I need to know as quick as possible, just as early as possible, just so I can obviously observe the children in their own environment with you. You know what I'm saying? Not not the face or the facade that you tell them to put on. You try to act like that's your little wingman and be like, okay, be good for mama or something. Don't mess this up for me. This is good for us. You know how some people is. So they try to, put, I don't know, put they sort of, as they say, put their best foot forward, and that ain't them. You know what I'm saying? So they just be faking. So you want to look at the environment that the child grows up in, and also the lessons and teachings that they get from that parent. Ooh.
All right, so I'm a at first, before we get to the actual answer, I would think that at least if I've been talking to somebody for about a month or some change, I need to see what you got. Like, show me what am I getting myself into, depending on if it would be courting, yeah, again, and that's all in the book, versus dating and just playing in somebody's garden. Courting, it's like, well, this is automatically we're looking at being together. But again, that's all laid out in there. I'm like, show me in the first month. Like, what's going on here? What I need to see the whole totality of what I'm getting myself involved with, as far as if you got little baby's kids that I'm gonna have to have an issue with, or are these some respectable youngsters that, okay, we can start to move forward. But nonetheless, let's get the real answer. That's in the chat. You got Chief says, my children are introduced on a need-to-know basis. Their gestation is sacred, as is their sphere in which they operate, and it takes much more for me to allow anyone near them. Harem hierarchy. Now, would you say, Brother Lowe, that would be different from a man and a woman, as far as I guess that would just go to some dysfunction, being that if the woman has them, then would it still be that need to know basis, that gestation period?
Well, I would say you go with it. Well, at least they boxing gloves, but still, you just be beat. But I would say if it's a woman, it's different. With a man, it's I can feel what she's saying. It's a need to know basis, because I mean, it's you don't really need to know, because I as the man am the guard of my children and the protector of my children. And like you said, their gestation is sacred. You know what I'm saying? And harem hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? You may say it's need to know, because obviously you probably ain't gonna be anywhere near my harem. You may, be on the outs. You may be in the outer court. You know what I'm saying? And you don't need to know. You know what I'm saying? Well, you don't need to know. You in the outer court. You ain't in the inner court. You are outer disciple. If you ever watch Asian television like I do, you are outer disciple. You don't need to know all that. So if it's a woman, it's different, because well, if she has not made plans for her children to be taken by their paternal father, then that's a red flag, and you need to really investigate what's going on. You know, I would say it like that.
And I see Aki Chris got a question in here for you. He said, "Is there a specific time when children shouldn't be introduced, Brother Lowe?" Which,
yeah, a specific time when
but I
when
mean, we're
should
gonna get
be
to that in the reading too, though. So that's gonna come up here in a hot second.
okay.
But I mean, flow with what you got, Lowe. And tell them how
Okay.
you get
Yeah,
Lowe.
we gonna flow with it. We gonna flow with it. All right. So, you know, there is a specific time when children shouldn't be introduced, and I would say that time is, as I said, when you. Okay, how can I say this in the nicest way possible? But you shouldn't be doing that anyway. If you have no future with that woman, then that is a specific time where she don't need to meet your children. Yes. I'll say it like that.
All right. So then we got she said we got Sister Kashia says, if the person is an efficient parent without, can you determine if the person is an efficient parent without meeting the child?
I would
I'm gonna say
say
no.
no. You cannot tell if a person is efficient without meeting the child or meeting the child in its original environment with that parent. You know what I'm saying? Just because okay, it's like how you see in documentaries. I mean, animal documentaries. They actually go and observe lions and hyenas and wildebeests and gazelles and tigers and bears in their original habitat, and they learn so much in their original habitat. You can't do that in a zoo. You know what I'm saying? You can't really learn about somebody in a controlled environment, but in a natural environment, you learn so much, because they're free. They're free to do what they want, and they're not putting on any airs. So it's important, I would say, to um basically see how efficient a parent is by meeting the child and by observing how they are with their children. It's not just about meeting, it's also, to me, how they teach their child, how they feed their child, how they eat, how they dress them. you know um some people can't dress their kids. I'm just, but yeah, things like that, I would say.
All right. So we got Chief says when the question about earlier about if a woman has
you
children.
on you on mute, brother. I can hear you, bro.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right. So we got Chief in the chat who says, I don't want to meet a woman's children if their father is still active in their lives. If I've dealt with her on any level, it would be kept from her children until they are adults. Okay. I mean, that's interesting. Can you deal with a woman with maneuvering if she has her children? Or is that?
I would say no, man, because I don't. Me personally, there's some things that I want to do, and you can't. But you go. Women have excuses. I can't do this. I can't do that. I gotta call a babysitter or whatever. And I'm like, no, go time. Let's go. So I don't think so. But I could be wrong.
All right. Well, let's get to says you can't. She says you can't determine that by meeting the child. Treatment is the detriment upon how they feel about the father. She may treat the child well, but may be hung up on the father, but be settling with you.
That's true.
That's a cold game out here.
Hey man, I mean Hey, it's reality, you know what I'm talking about? Hey, if she's still pining for the father, I mean, she's still pining for. I mean, she had kids by him. I mean, so it's safe to assume there is a attachment there that goes beyond you and her relationship, and that's the reality of it. And that's something you're gonna have to determine whether you want to deal with or you know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You got to do
Playing that poker
when
game.
to hold them, know
You gotta
when to
keep the poker
fold
face up.
them, know when to walk away, know when to run.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So what? Let's go ahead and you want to start to read that first line, Brother Lowe?
All right. Present children should not be introduced at the onset of courtship.
All right. Presenting children should not be introduced on the onset of courtship. And again, I think that's just mainly because you don't know where this is going. You don't know how this is going to end. You don't know, in introducing a child, I don't think they have the reasoning faculties. They don't have the mind that an adult has to know what is going on. And you start introducing them to all these different people, then it's just going to be detriment to their growth moving forward, kind of like Chief had spoke about earlier. So presenting a child early on is not going to work. And I think would it run you off?
if you a single guy with no kid, yeah, honestly, empathy is, but
You think would it be different if you had children yourself?
I think so. I would say so.
What would make the difference for you? Would you be more lenient because you like, okay, it's more grace, so I have one, so they have to do it, or what?
It depends on the guy. I can't talk about something I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I'm asking you, Brother Lowe. So let's get low.
I can't talk about something. I would say, it depends on how are you in your rulership. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got kids, you may not still see a place for that person, or you may see a place for that person, but like you said, you may not want. I don't want to meet your kids. You don't got to meet my kids, and we can do our thing. On certain days. And if you cool with that, if you're not, okay, bye. Why you asking me?
And Lowe always know. All right, so we got Sister Kashia in here that says, if operating under a new, there may be a high chance she will not have her children. They will be with their blood father. It's right in there too. So, and she says it's not a turnoff per se if the woman is realistic about how it affects the dynamics of what we can share. So, did you want to vibe off of that first line, Akilo?
Well, I mean, yeah, I do believe that children should not be, presented at the onset of courtship. Basically, it's that time for you to really get to know that person first. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to, you don't want to napalm the whole city just yet. But you really want to get a feel for the person as an individual, I would say, to before you get into the realm of children and whatnot, I would say.
Yeah, because then it's taking you down a whole different street, man. It's hard to say. It's easy to walk away from one person, but when you got other people that now, like children, I think Sister Kashia said it in the chat, is getting attached, and then now all of a sudden, oh yeah, they walking up, pulling your shirt now. Are you my daddy? No, I'm not your daddy. Oh, no. get out of here. Yeah. Nah, that's a serious thing, because then ultimately they're gonna turn into adults. You want to unleash them on the world, and you don't know really what you unleashing them, having attachment issues, have, all of these different things, different maladies that can come from just introducing different people into their lives at too young of an age or too early of an age, and then it's just gonna backfire you on in many different ways. All right, so we got MGC. What's up, brother? He says courtship is court. Have to vet them first. All right. All right. So go ahead, Akilo. You want to go to the next?
Already. Children should not be exposed to a courtship until phase 3.
Phase 3. So we went through phase 1. Phase 1 is 3 months. Phase 2 is another 3 months. So we got 6 months before that is introduced. And I think that's really important, because you really are seeing if you're vibing with this person, period. Like if this person is, and I think in phase 2 is where it says that she is looking at him, listening with her eyes, seeing if he can actually hold down the fort, seeing if he has all of these things that are in place that actually he can build in order to now house her. Now, if that is not in place, then what is the whole point of doing that? But I think even then, we're going to get to that with this next line. But I just think it's interesting that now one should wait that time before that is introduced, so that there is no issues with those children as you start to as y'all get to know each other. Because I think that can even hinder a relationship, is introducing them too soon as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. Introducing them too soon can really be detrimental to the relationship. But like Chief said, it requires sobriety on both sides. So I think sober assessment is needed. During that phase.
So when you say sober assessment, what do you mean by that?
I mean sober assessment where you're not driven by your emotions or I'm in love. You
love with a stripper.
I didn't say that. I wouldn't even go in there. But see, let it be known, it's that make me act up, and then I just go. But yeah, nobody's. But yeah, that's a sober assessment where you're more. I would say you're at your most objective point, and you're not solely driven by how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, and seeing because I think there's a lot that goes into just having that courtship and just really getting to know, like, that sobriety, man. I need to see this person for who they are, not, oh yeah, you could do this. Because even then, I think that would be even like a way of manipulation, as far as, look what I can do for your children. Like, I can do all of this. I'm a great dad, or somebody like, I do this for my children. And you're unable to see somebody clearly, because now you have introduced them so early, and they're able to try to be what they think you want. And then next thing you know, you're not seeing clearly, and you've now either bringing another seed into the situation and now looking to try to get out of the situation, or you are just SOL. So yeah, I think that's but I'm gonna finish reading it. Go ahead, Brother Lowe.
All right. This is only necessary if it is.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before you go on, let me finish reading these in the chat, and then we'll go. I thought you was gonna comment on that. It was my bad. It requires sobriety on both sides. If, as a male, you've been irresponsible with your seed and have lacked maturity, that just moved. Where'd it go? To see the lack of maturity, a pristine woman would probably not want to engage you at a deeper level. Yeah, I mean, and some people like to use that excuse of, I was younger and I didn't know what I was doing. You can't hold me accountable to things that I used to do. You still held accountable for things that you did know, and you knew you was out there slanging that thing, and you gonna pay the consequences of it. Sister Kashia says, if there are children involved, shouldn't the man, man, when these comments, this whole thing just leaves. Shouldn't the man and the children father? Sorry, go ahead, brother.
You want me to do it? I'll read it.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay. If there are children involved, shouldn't the man and the children father meet at and converse before the children are introduced to even see if it's an ideal situation to partake in?
Shouldn't the man and the children father meet? I don't want to meet the dude, honestly. You asking me, like, what I'm gonna meet this dude for? That's your children. Take your children. I don't need them children.
Yeah, I don't know who I don't know who you lay down with. Some guys can be petty, and they they can be like some some petty, like, that's why I hit it first. She had my kid. I don't got time. I don't got time for little kid squabbles. You know what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do with me. I would say that has nothing to do with me. I don't need to meet the dude. I don't want him by my house. He don't want me by his house. We can. He can't come near me. I don't want to be bothered with him. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one, because I think even what I've seen even guys do is they use that just to manipulate the woman. So like, if she's supposed to be out with you, what about these children? Are you gonna come do this? Are you gonna come do that? And you say, oh, well, you a bad mother, or whatever the case may be. You just going back and forth. I'm not. Like, we don't need to be friends. I don't need to sit down and we're gonna have one nice co-parenting relate. No, I'm not interested. I'm not interested one bit, man. Either you see lions in the wild. Hey, get rid of these young. These ain't mine. Hey, God, I mean, I need to create my own bloodline. And once we get moving, then we can get moving like that. But nonetheless, all right. You want to go back to the chat?
Yeah, G say that should be determined by the father of the children. Kashia. If a sister is wielding the power stass completely, went up for me. That is a red flag. The father should have set terms to be respected. Oh, you want me to read the rest?
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
Sure. All right. A male will play the beta to a female with children or not. Just because he finds her superior to him, looks, money, notoriety. Once he's calling her pretty for a date, it's the same sim dynamic. He goes further on to say, if the man is a fellow Anu man, would you be willing to sit and coordinate with him as a man? He corrected himself. Power staff. Okay, gotcha.
All right, so if the man is a fellow Anu man, would you be willing to sit and coordinate with him as a man?
Well, it is like the, well, what?
So let's not do it hypothetically speaking, though. Let's say it like this. Let's say would you sit down with me and talk to me about a woman that I done knocked up, and you like, all right, now I'm gonna take them on, brother Zach. Like, would you do that? Would you sit down?
I would, because it's you, brother Zach. But then again, it's like, see, I would. Okay, I would, because I would, but.
I hit it.
See, that's the thing. Do I really want to come behind you and take all that? I respect you, homie, but I can't be dating some girl my homie done smashed. What's wrong? That makes, look, Chief just said that turns you into a dang on beta male. Like, I'm gonna go behind brother Zach. I I can get my own chick. I gotta get one of his throwaways. What do I look like? You know, no. I mean, I can, in the context of the question, yeah, but bruh, I ain't about to knock one of your seconds, but even if we cool like that, no, bro.
Yeah. I think the only instance that like I would do that is if you transitioned. Then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take them on because I can't just have them out there just in the wind doing anything. But if you still around, I'm like, hello, what's the problem? Hey, what is the issue? Hey, but I don't know. That's I see. Well, let's get the right answer, huh?
Let's get the right answer, because I don't have one. Okay, Chief say, I would sit down with any brother if it was necessary. I've done it many times before, even when there were no children involved. This ain't Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson. The girls ain't my. Oh, nope. I can't even. The girl is mine.
The doggone girl is mine.
Exactly.
I mean, I would sit down, but even if we're in the same, like me and you, we go to the same service, Sunday Sabbath service, right? We go to the same. If I'm gonna sit down, I think my thing is I'm like, what's the problem? What if this is my brother and we are underneath the same umbrella and we live in the same doctrines? Somebody went wrong. They made a wrong turn. I want to know what happened. And if you're here and then why are you just don't take these children? Why do I need to be around unless, we've all just lived in the same community and they was coming down? I don't yeah.
Or it just popped in my head. What if you got a situation like Judah? His daughter-in-law, her husband died and whatnot, and she went and got with Judah. You know what I'm saying? She faked him out, but she got with Judah. So what if you got a situation like that? How do you work something like that? Is that culturally acceptable, or it just popped in my head, so.
Well, I think what you just said. What happened to her husband?
He died. I don't know how he died.
He ain't here, so I ain't sitting down talking to him. I think that would be a difference than me. Like if he was here, and then even then, how'd he die? Did you poison the man? What happened? I don't know. So what happens when you done with me? Am I gonna get the same murder one that you gave this dude? Am I gonna get the same thing? It's gonna be like a Game of Thrones when you just eat, what was it, soup or something she ate, or a drink, and the next thing you know, it's like a minute later and just gone. Like, is that gonna happen to me? Yeah.
Okay. So Kashia asked, got it. So only in death for the brothers, Zach and Lo.
I mean, that's yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, we supposed to be still. Nah, them your children. That's your blood running through this. And you're going to sit right down in the front row where I'm now. You had all the enjoyment of doing all of the nasty with her. And then I got to clean up aisle 5. And I got to come with my mop and my bucket and like, okay, I'll fix it. Don't worry. I don't know. I don't know why that's just a tough one for me to swallow. But I would lean.
Probably because you don't want to be played like no sucker. I'm just saying. That's what it sounds like. You ain't trying to be no sucker. I ain't trying to get played like a rookie. So that's probably the reason why. But Chief says the brother may have done something so egregious at the at the start or end of the relationship. At the relationship is poison. Maybe he wasn't I knew at the time, and he was kicking her in the behind all day. Reconciliation may be impossible. Yeah. I mean, domestic violence, but I get it. I don't know. It's just something. It's some. Okay, so, since we dealing with a domestic violence situation, so she comes running to me. I don't know. Would you accept that? I, that's something I gotta think on. I gotta think on that. Give me a second, brother.
Hold on. When did you get domestic violence? I missed that whole.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
It just said maybe he's done something so egregious that the relationship is poison. Maybe he wasn't new at the time and was kicking her in the behind all day. Reconciliation may be impossible. I mean, okay, if he was kicking. So, hold on, I got questions now. Man. So if this was a domestic violence situation and they were, I guess, coming into Anu. Hold on. She was in Anu and he wasn't, and then he joined Anu after that. I got questions, man. I got questions. How long has this brother been in Anu? How long have I been around this brother? And when she comes around with these black eyes or something, and nobody has said anything and let it just progress to a situation where like I got to get out of here, or they finally figured out that once they got in Anu that they said that this couldn't work.
Yeah. See, that's hard. Because you don't. That's a fighting situation, and some woman comes running you. That means a problem gonna come directly at you, and then you gotta be prepared to handle that situation. But then you gotta wonder why she running to me. Am I a sucker? I don't know. See,
well,
I'm still thinking about.
I think it's because you're courting, and you would be courting at the. I think.
Okay.
So I'm guessing she's already left this dude.
Okay.
I'm guessing. I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, Chief says it's a hypothetical. Y'all writing an entire script. Yes,
hey,
my name is Precious.
Want to know.
Yeah, Precious. Hey, I want all the details. I want the facts. I want the hard copies. I want everything.
Hey, I think what to say. Show me the whole fact. I need to see it. Show me the script. Let me see so I can go down and itemize each thing. Okay. All right, but go ahead though. I see the chat. You can go back to the chat.
Chief, okay. Sham the Joy said, so would he be a part of Anu? In that case, Chief. And then he says, it's not directed to her, but he says, yeah, but that mean that you're only valuing her for sex. She may have boss potential, and the last brother was only trying to lay with her. And then he says to Sham the Joy, hypothetically, let's say he's redeemed himself. I knew it was a hospital. People come in with situations to work on within themselves. Right. And then he says, okay, let's do it like this. They were together and I knew. He leaves and lays with her nephew. He repents. Comes back to Anu, but she had just caused for divorce. Would you speak to him dead?
I mean, is there sometimes a situation where you have violated on a level that's so supreme that what can you say at this point that makes sense? we all took it. If I took a blood oath with you, Lo, and you go off and you run and you start just slinging your thing in family members, and we can already see right in Deuteronomy, it says you shouldn't even lay with anybody close in that family tree. At what point, what do we have to talk about?
What do we have to talk about? I mean, really. I mean, I get redemption. I'm trying to come it from that angle. They're redeeming themselves. They're repenting, which is to rethink. But you come back, to what I knew, and she does have just cause for the divorce. Would I still talk to him? I mean, cordially, yeah. Yeah, I ain't, yeah, in a Chief said that she got boss potential, so I'm gonna handle this like a dang on boss. I'm gonna come to the table and just say what's there. And if that person probably got a problem with it, they probably got a problem with it. If they don't, they don't. But I ain't trying to, I guess, I ain't trying to really, break bread with them. You know what I'm talking about? We just, if I'm handling like a political move where I'm doing a negotiation or something like, well, not even a negotiation, but just a peace talk, peace settlements. That's how my mind works. If we just come to the table for like a non-aggression pact, there we go, non-aggression pact. I ain't gonna come after you. You ain't gonna come after me. I'll just let you know what it is. Can we agree on that? No aggression. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I could talk with somebody with a non-aggression pact, or a pre conflict resolution, because it could. I mean, if you're knocking down a nephew, that means it could be an emotional tie, and it could be a conflict resolution. So yeah, I would set the law straight, so there is no grounds for conflict. I think in that line.
I think if I was to have a conversation, the only conversation is, I don't need to see your children, man. Period. Like, I do not need to see him here nor there. I do not need to see him anywhere. I do not want to see him in a hat. I do not want to see him with the cat. I don't want to see him. So if you're back in Anu, then in Anu, you're taking your children. I don't know what else we need to talk about at this point, other than go get them, brother. I mean, I don't know. Is there something I'm missing, Akilo?
Well, Chief says people slip up. It doesn't excommunicate you for life if the repentance is authentic.
Right, absolutely. I think that goes with that whole thing with grace. Like, all of us have done something, but now, is each offense, are they all created the same? What would they do in Doom?
Huh?
What would they do in Doom?
Well, if we talking about the Fremen, well, see, the Fremen do. But if we talking about the Fremen, then the Fremen, it's about survivability above everything. Survivability of the tribe. This is the best interest of the tribe. Since you asked, that's what I think would be the main thing. Could this be a detriment to the survivability of the tribe? But also, I ain't about to give you book spoilers. That turns people off. It's like,
nah. So what you saying then? I think it's all about the survivability of the group. And if it's about the survivability of the group, then my ego has to be Like it kicks in and be like, nah, I ain't doing it. I ain't. But if we're talking about group and the greatest self-preservation is group preservation, then I need to have a conversation. Because ultimately, I don't want, if this is family and these children are coming out of my family, if I consider everybody in here to be family, well, then now what ultimately is going to be unleashed out into the world? That's going to be not only a representation of that family, but it's a representation of me as well.
It is. I agree with you. Well, Sister Arlene said, but if the brother was an alike, so he and his children would now be part of our community. And Chief below that says, and I knew some of you have gossiped behind my back, conspired on my household, lied about me, borrowed money, and have not returned payment, and more. But if you are in this community, you are in my family. But we in your family. Hey, yo, give homie his money. You know what I'm talking about? You done borrow from him. Give him his money. I'll just say.
Right. Now let's say though, even in that, Brother Lowe, is there a point though where you start to you have to look at people like, hold on, there's a standard and there's a line that needs to be drawn out. And you cross this line. Is there some things that people cannot return from if they cross the line, or should there always be offered grace?
Yeah, there should be a line. If you handle him like like a king, that's head of his own kingdom, then you decide what is that boundary and who you can pardon or offer grace to, and who you can excommunicate or not deal with at all. You know what I'm saying? Because you are the master of your own house. You know what I'm talking about? I see it like that. So I would say it like that. So I mean, if it's an egregious offense, then you already know what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it solely comes down to you and your decisions, and then you have to be responsible and accountable for everything that you decide to do. Whether you decide to use grace or you decide not to. You have to be able to be solid in your thinking and solid enough to stand by your decision no matter what happens. I guess I say it like that.
Already. I don't know. Where did you leave off at in this chat? Mine just keeps scrolling. I can't really see it. Where you?
Okay. I left off at she was talking about how some of y'all gossip about.
Oh, that's right. All right. And then so Emma Quia says, and Tom has awakened to his consciousness, and it seems it may be amongst the same community as some of the other characters in Solution. That must be something from earlier. All right. Aki Chris says, it's important to find the best parts of one another to connect to, as long as they are part of the community and family. All right. And then Chief says, how many things have you forgiven a female of so you can get between her legs? Abortions? Question marks. No. Problem? Drug use? No. Problem. Jail time? No. Problem. Arson? No. Problem. You sure is pretty.
Yeah, I've never done that. I can't speak on that. But it sounds like, yeah. When he said you sure is pretty, and then follow will be, girl, I'll drink your bath water. Something like that.
And just hypothetically speaking, wouldn't that be like somebody coming from from a lack? I can't get anything else. It's like there's so many out there. Why would I deal with this? Why would I put up with this? Hey, I guess, like, what is your value that you have for yourself? Now, is there times when somebody has just done something stupid because she does look good and you want to hit it, right? Or you just want to, Yeah. But I guess that would have to, wouldn't that all have to deal with where this is going? So I'm just, this just the jump off, right? And I'm just gonna hit this and then get out of this because she sure is pretty. So that's all I wanted for. As opposed to when you're courting somebody, I'm looking to take you on long term. Wouldn't that change the stakes and the dynamics of that a little bit? What do you think, Akilo?
I can't call it. I would say, yeah. I I don't got no comment to it, bro. I'm thinking about it like, I don't know. I don't. At this point, I don't know yet.
All right. Then Sam the Joy says, who is judging the intensity of an offense? Now I saw this because I'm scrolling, so now I'm going back and forth. Chief says the community judges the intensity of the offense based on the potential or active harm to it. It's like figuring out how much a drug addiction is hurting your overall health. Come through with examples, Chief. Come through. All right. So I'm gonna go back up because that just went with that. And then Emma Quia said David crossed the line when he slept with his soldier's wife. Grace was given to him, but there was a cost. It cost to be the boss. It takes some maturity. Abba MGC says it takes some maturity and egoless thinking to handle that type of situation. I'm not sure which one. See, it gets away from me. My apologies. Did that just post?
Hey, the director just put it in there, bro.
Look at this. I done figured something out, y'all. All right. Community job. I felt like that needed to be seen for everybody. Then we gonna do that like that. Then that's what we gonna do. All right. And then Brother Antonio says establishing a clear understanding of the nature of relationships we form with our new brothers and sisters is one of the main benefits of a courtship. The scrutinizing eye is leveled by both parties. Stated in the Anu way. Let me see how you take that. There we go. Oh shoot. You can't hold me down now, man. Establishing a clear, it is stated in the Anu way that it is a beautiful thing to get to know your Anu brother or sister. What we find once we start digging into each other's past won't always be pretty. I think though, isn't that a reason why people start to hold back because they don't want to be seen? So they kind of just lurk in the shadows and not really. Yeah. But then, are you really going to? Could it be somebody talking like me right now is what allows somebody to say, you know what, I'm not doing that because I know the judgment is coming. But then should one be scared of a judgment?
No, one should not be scared of a judgment. I think people are scared of a judgment is because people outside that culture gave a probably a feeling, an emotional opinion that caused them to have shame, and so they hold back because the I guess the emotional memory is still there. You know what I'm saying? Or whatnot. Case in point, like that time I shared my count, right? It on that WhatsApp. Now my emotional memory, I've always been laughed at by my count. You know what I'm saying? And that has always held me back to say I shouldn't say nothing. And you when you have before I was in, I knew, you always had your homie say, hey, don't tell nobody this. Don't you say that, anything, to get that good, but yeah. So, but when you are comfortable, I guess, with yourself and like Chief said, I knew it was a hospital. You can't get well until you basically talk about those things that you keep hidden or you keep silent about. That's not how you're gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? Or that's not how you're going to grow. Grow. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah.
Absolutely. Objectivity is key, is what Achi Antonio says. Achi Raban is in the space. What's up, brother? It's Kashia. So here we go. Bang. I'm just gonna put it up. You may put up with it because of value the community needs. And alpha is not always unblemished, but most needed. A sister who can farm, hunt, and shoot will receive more forgiveness from me.
Hey, I wish if she could hunt and shoot, we go side by side, Is that a deer? Hey, that's just me. That sounds cool, But yeah, that's I feel you on that, Chief, for sure. Already.
Does that go back to what you were talking about a little earlier with politics, Akilo?
Yeah, you can. You can say that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that person provides something, brings something to the table. I mean, she can hunt. I don't know many, girls that's scared to get their hands dirty, Now historically, women, were the ones that, certain cultures to, clean the carcass and, tan the hides and things. Girls, wear them long fingernails. They don't like to get they can't do all that, but a girl that can shoot, she can shoot. She ain't scared to shoot. She ain't scared to hunt. She ain't scared to be out in the woods. That's a keeper. No,
and I think that even goes back to, there's a comment that Chief has said a while before, just saying that be what your community needs the most. And when you come into a community, are you still holding on to your old ways and your old thoughts and that's something that that's me all day. That's me all day. Like, nah, this is what we need the most. And if what we need the most is, sitting down and talking to your brother about him cheering, well, then that's just what's gonna have to happen, man. That's what's gonna have to happen. All right, so I'm gonna keep going. It says you may put up with it because of the value the community. Oh wait, I read that already. Agreed. Acceptance, certain behavior from women based on their value. For me, I also know that I've also been kept around because of mine as well. Farmer Bay. Come on now, planting trees, big dog. Planting trees. Sister Kashia says, we do judge as all people do. However, our judgment is guided by the thought, words, and intentions of the Most High. The first judgment is on ourselves. This is a righteous call to evolve. Our new way. Come through, Sister Kashia. Let's post that. Bang. From the Our New Way. Put that up there. We do judge as all people do. However, our judgment is guided by the thought, words, and intentions of the Most High. The first judgment is on ourselves. This is a righteous call to evolve. Absolutely. What's that old saying is, when you point one finger, there's three of them pointing right back at you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is.
So look at yourself. Starts with what's that old Michael Jackson song? Starts with the man in the mirror. So that's
looking at the
man. Okay. Things, one of them. At any rate. All right, so then Chief says, a sister may be able to hunt and shoot because she was a cop for 10 years, putting sisters in chokeholds. We good? That's you, Akilo.
You know what? You know what? I have. Now you make me go back into my past. She was doing that, and she had these pink cuffs that she used to put on. I couldn't deal with that chick. I dealt with a chick like that. She was a cop. She was a cop in Texas, and one thing she used to do to emasculate the guys was she had these pink cuffs, and she used to put on. She'd be like, "Don't you look cute?" Wow. Yeah, you right. We ain't good. That used to turn me off. I'm like, I can't deal with you no more. But we ain't good after that. Nope. I'm straight. Nah.
Hold on, now that might have been before she got into our new. You know, you telling me?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
She was past tense. Somebody can't be refined. This is I knew is a hospital.
It is a hospital. Yeah. Something to take into consideration. Yeah, people change. People change.
All right. Well, she says you got pink cups for you, Akilo. Is that all right for you?
What happened to the pink cups? Bro, I don't know. Those that were put on me. Ain't no cups been put on me. I have evaded the law. And I made them dang on pink cups. But it just reminded me what he said, like, oh yeah. You know, but yeah, it just came to mind.
Yeah. You got in here. I point my thumbs at myself all the time. No problem there. Which, I mean, that takes a lot of maturity and growth, you know, and that even comes back to that 14 keys of just, you know, if you think that the problem is outside of you and not with you, then it's fine if you can afford the rent, which that rent is barrenness. You're going to just be find yourself by yourself. And ain't nobody going to be around because you always looking like, you must be the problem. You must be the I am the cause of my causes. So if it started with me and I put myself in this well, I'm going to get myself out of this well. And ultimately, I'm going to use these tools to get up out of here. Or these pink cuffs that somebody throws down.
Bruh. And it wasn't one with the chain. It was the little tight ones, too. I was like, I got scared. Ooh, bro, I was scared.
Oh, man. All right. People change like that all the time. All right. So do you want to read that last line, Akilo?
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, this is only necessary if it is unquestionably and verifiably impossible to deliver those children to their rightful patriarch.
So ultimately, we're only taking on or looking, having that conversation if the children unquestionably and verifiably. I think those two words really just jumped at me and grabbed my spirit. Verified, right? Because you know somebody might be like, "Oh no, this is low. You a good man, and I just want them to come under your teaching." And he said he wasn't gonna do it. He said he wasn't gonna be around. He said he wasn't gonna do that. Hold on, that needs to be verified. Which I think even then goes back to you sitting down and having that conversation. Which even then you're gonna find that discovery package again. There's some more that might be at the helm. I don't know what you got, Aki, though.
Like you said, show me. Show. I need details. I need variables. Look, I need to verify this situation. So I ain't holding the trick bag. I say, but yeah. And that gives you time to basically plan the next move. I will also say, you know, on what steps need to be taken, what actions need to be taken if the children cannot be sent by to their rightful patriarch. You know.
Now, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Well, then would that be ultimately that judgment would come to that individual who would be either the one taking them on and saying, "All right, let's do it," or would that be a deal breaker and be like, "Nah, I ain't not interested."
It depends on the guy. We're all different. You gotta know. You gotta know what you can deal with, what you can't. I can't speak for you. Yeah, I can only speak for myself. If it's me, if it's me, I ain't about to lie. It might be a deal. It's a deal breaker. I already said it. I ain't going. Yeah, I done it once, ain't doing it again. I bet that. So yeah, it might be a deal breaker for me. Even if I know the situation and everything. It's yeah, yeah, I ain't about I ain't about to lie. Yeah, I can't do it.
But even if now that goes back to the earlier, even though if she was the boss and would help your empire expand, you saying you saying you just looking at it from that sense of just nah.
If she a boss, okay.
Man,
The
I be riding
ends
through my old
outweigh the
my
means.
nude. Come on, Lo. She a
If
boss, man.
ends, if ends outweigh the means, I mean, she a boss. Well, you know what? If she a boss, you know what I'm talking about, and I could give her the right instructions to expand the operation. Yeah, and it pays off. I, yep, I get it. Yeah.
Okay. So
I
so
think
just so I'm hearing you correctly, you're reneging and you're saying you would.
you just said she was a boss.
Hey.
I mean, I mean, let me think. You gotta think about it. So it's like you just said she was a boss. I mean, how many chicks bosses around here? I mean, or faking it till they make it. I mean, a genuine boss. That's like, look, I don't know.
I mean, I guess you would see what.
Like she has an attitude, carry the what? you know, bruh, I don't.
But I guess that will go back to that word verifiably. Even
Mm-hmm.
then, I think that can be taken in different contexts as well, because just like you said, yeah, one can say they're a boss, and just like you said, how many of them would claim that title? But again, like it says in the I Knew Way, listen with your eyes, and that's just not only for the women, but that's also for men too. If somebody says something, then you should be able to see them like, yeah, okay, this manifesting or it's not. And I think how much of that though too would be held with the person that they're with. Can somebody quell somebody's ability to be unleashed as opposed to keeping reins on them saying, well, you're gonna do what I'm doing? How much of that should be taken into account?
A lot, you know what I'm saying? Because some want to be, what's up with that? I'm in charge of the girls, So some people just like that. They have maybe a psychological stimulation to control people, or in that aspect. And so you have to pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, yeah, bro.
All right, so we got. She says a boss sister will not even need coaching through this, but so much. She will know how to handle it. Chances are she would have to have that talk with her ex already and would anticipate your concerns. I mean, again, that goes back to listening with your eyes. And if it's already there, cutting you off before you even get there, you're like, oh, okay, this is not even, I don't even got to direct my energy to this. So, all right, let's move on. Abba MGC says, would you consider a platonic situation with her for sake of the communal value? What do you mean platonic?
Like
Expand on that.
friends.
You talking about dating?
Like, when I think of platonic, I think friends.
Buddies,
but then some people try to work their way in with that platonic, establishment. But yeah,
even then, I think guys, they can be. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think guys would be very patient too, trying to play that, platonic. I'm just a friend. Friend is just, playing in the garden. Man, they know what he's doing too, right? But then, and some of them like, oh, I know this is just not going nowhere. It's that old saying too. You ever heard that saying? Why would I pay for the cow when I get the milk for free?
Yeah, I heard that one. Why buy the
I
milk?
mean, how much of that comes? How much of that would come in the play? You know, as far as just having some platonic, and then what ultimately would that say to the community?
Well, under the context that Baba MGC said, would you consider a platonic situation with her for the sake of the communal value and covering her and her children without sex?
Again, what happened to the guy? Is he gone? Is he there? Is he still there? Like, are we still having a? I need a little more context.
Right.
Just a little. All right, so let me see. Sister Gashia says compassion becomes a medium for sharing energy and strength between those who are engaged in a common struggle. When we engage in the operation of community rearing and citizenry, formulating, say that 5 times fast, formulating, each individual involved must do the work that supports the collective and the works that suit their natural faculties and merited aptitudes. 14 keys. All right, and then Chi says, real men don't befriend women who are eligible for mating. That's for weak males. Our new men have mates, sisters, and relatives. All the women are either our brothers, ineligible, or consorts.
Hey, that's right. Friend. Well, if you eligible for mating, I don't want to be your friend. I really don't. Usually it's something deeper. And look, under the guise of friendship, I'm trying to work my way in deeper. Being sneaky. Not being really being sneaky and cowardly in the sense where I'm not really making my position and my intent known, So I do it under the guise of friendship. You know what I'm saying? Then you say that we can be friends. you know. So yeah, we don't need to be friends, man. Especially if you got them big making hips and yeah, I ain't trying to be your friend.
Hey, but doesn't that start to play in with sometimes when some guys find themselves in a scent role, where all of a sudden she's calling you and you picking up their children from school. I'm not gonna be able to make it, but they done at 3:30. Can you pick them up, please?
Yo, bro.
Like, yo, no. like you become that guy. Oh, they're out of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Can you go to the store and get them something because my children haven't eaten? You like, now what am I doing, man? You're like, okay, I'm gonna look after them. Which I did that when I was in high school. That happened to me, and I will never forget that as long as I live. And I stepped in. I was like, oh, this is my friend, and then me and her fell off. Me and him got into it, and then they ended up getting back together. And it was like, but I'm gonna look after you though. It was one of the worst decisions I have ever made in my life, ever. So yeah, we got Chief says never play the platonic game with a mate. Oh, I think I read that. Did I read that? Oh, with a mate eligible sister, she is wasting your time, and you are nothing but a spook among many in her will spoke. Reading is fundamental among many in her wheel of pandering males. Yeah. And Brother Antonio says, remember when you touched on this a few years ago, Chief, and women cannot be friends. They will eventually want something from one another. And Sister Kashia says, I will always remember when Chief spoke on that. I align with that. Yeah. Yeah, friends. Yeah, you asking for trouble. So we're at an hour and 20. Now it's time to say goodbye. And we got Chief real quick before we get out of here. Let me read the last couple comments. Chief says picking up children is fine if she is under your covering and Anu. Besides that, it's a not Anu and not relevant. It's not Anu and not relevant. If you are courting, you could service her like that. If you are mated, then it's fine. Yeah, if you're mated. If you just friends, that's what I'm saying. My period came early and I don't have any pads. Can you go to the stove? Hello. Come on. I did not mean as friends covering the woman without sex. I did not mean as friends. Yeah. All right. Cool. Did you have any closing remarks, Akilo?
Oh no, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on. She said you couldn't service her like that if you were courting. Okay. I didn't have none money.
Right.
You know
That would be favored. That's what I'm saying, the mate.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah. I mean, if it's communal thing, you know, one of the sisters like asked me, you know, we cool. I'm like, yeah, sure. You know, but if it's somebody that's just trying to use me, no. Like, good. You be there at 3:00. Click. You know. So nah, bro. But you know, yeah, made it, made it. There's a reason for that.
All right. Well, we give thanks for everybody that is in the chat. Shared this space with us. And be right back at you. Y'all in Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy your day of rest. And I don't know who will be back, but we'll be back in 7 days, though. Strong.
Already.
Peace.
Peace.